All right, welcome to Here for the Horses. I'm glad you're here for the horses. Today's going to be an exciting day. This is the beginning of our journey through the horse, so that's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. Before we get started on that, I do want to go over a couple other things first. I had some kind of cool stuff happen this weekend. What I'm going to do is I think to start off these meetings, I'm going to pull up videos that are Kristen, hello, glad you're here. Claire's here. I'm going to pull up some videos that I get during the week as I'm watching random junk on the internet. There's always good horse videos though, so I'm going to open us up with a funny horse video because there are a lot of them out there and I think they're hilarious. So let me find the one I'm looking at today and we will dive right in. I have too many places to look for stuff, so that's the only problem. All right, here we go. Okay. Share the screen here. Make sure there's nobody waiting. All right, we're doing good. All right, share screen. And if you guys ever can't see what I'm talking about, please somebody unmute and tell me, okay? So let's take a look at this funny video here. It's a good icebreaker. I like the angles, good shots. It's out on the range. Had to drink some water. So that horse right there, that one's going to survive, right? Had to get down there and get some water. So that was quite cute. I like the butt shot too, because that's funny. Okay. So welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here. We're going to go over a couple things today. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the post that I put up this week about the face. So you guys know that a couple weeks ago we did one on the chest, and I thought that was really fun. It was interesting seeing the different chests, okay, and looking at pectorals and horses with a narrow stance, stuff like that. So this week I did one with a face. And there's a lot you can tell from the face, all right? And these videos or the photos that were brought in were really exciting. And I think we saw a lot of cool stuff. And then to follow that up, I did a video with Chester on how to release tension in the face, okay? So, and then I had people that submitted after photos, and that was really impressive. If you guys had a chance to look at those, it was pretty awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at that real quick and just see how that went. And then I want to talk about one of the situations that I saw that kind of got my attention. Okay. So we'll go to my Facebook account here. And I'll show you the post that I'm talking about. So here is my page. If you're not following me on this, make sure to follow and then adjust that you want to see everything. Okay, but well, this was some nice work by Kathleen. That was awesome. And then here I'm talking a lot. Okay, so here's the video, if you have not seen it, that I show you how to release tension in the horse's face. Okay, so if you haven't seen that yet, it was from 2 days ago. It's titled Reducing Tension in the Face. Okay, and I used Chester as the example. And then here is the photo that I used that I wanted people to put photos up of their horse, which a ton of people did. So thank you for everyone that participated in that. Feel free to put them up still if you haven't put them up yet. But I loved the photos. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about them. Here Here is Scotch before and after. Now, he did not have a super tight face, as you guys can see from this. All right. But look at his after photo. That's how I look after I get a massage too. I'm like, it's nap time. I'm gonna drink some water and I'm gonna go take a nap. So that's so cute. You can tell he did not have a ton of tension in his face. It doesn't look much different, but just look at his ears. I mean, and his eyes. Isn't that cute? Okay. So that was just a cute one. Let's see. There's George's before and after. Nothing crazy. She does not have a lot of tension in her face right now. This one was awesome though. Okay. Look at this. So this horse has a lot of tension in her face. This is the triangle that I was talking about. Okay. These are the little marks there by the eyes that I was talking about. I want this whole area to loosen up. And then you can even see the fascia going down the nose is tight. Okay. The eyes look a little tight. So anytime I see any tension around the eyelids, I want that to loosen up. All right. And then this was the work after the photo after she did the work. Okay. Isn't that beautiful how much that's loosened up? And listen, there's more work to be done. Okay. But this is much better. Look at that up there. That's fantastic. This one completely disappeared, right? This little groove here. Okay. These are softer. Look at the ears. Don't they just look a little softer? And then the eyes obviously look really nice. Okay. So we're not, before and after photos are great. I wouldn't bet my life on them, right? Because you could stage them if you wanted to, right? But what's the point of that, right? But it's just nice to see these subtle changes that make a really big difference in the horse. Okay, so this was a big deal in my opinion. If my face was this tight and then afterwards it was like this, I'd be pretty darn happy. Okay, so that was I think her name is, I don't want to say it wrong, Mariska. Okay. Another one, oh, Julia's here. Excellent. Okay, another one I wanted to talk about. That's gonna be funny. Julia, you're right on time because I'm getting to you actually. These were just fun to look at. Someone threw a chest. Doesn't this look like George's chest? This horse of Debbie's reminds me of my mare a lot. Okay. So I want to show you one of these though that caught my attention. So most of them you'll see that I talk about them and I go, oh, try this, try this. Here's Mariska again. Look at this stunning horse. Isn't she pretty? She needs her own calendar. I think it's a girl, I don't know. But there was one horse in here that caught my eye and I just couldn't quite give advice out until I got a little bit more. Look, this horse reminds me of Georgia too, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like her? And the horses, I'm gonna probably say this wrong. So Julia, I'm gonna probably say your name wrong, your last name, and your horse's name wrong. But let me show you. Okay, this horse right here. Okay, so Julia sent me this photo, and I don't know how to say her horse's name. I'm gonna say Goaty. Then that might be wrong, because it has fancy stuff above the D. But I got this horse, and I looked at it and I went, I would like more information before I say anything, because I got a feeling about this horse, and I didn't want to just kind of give advice. I wanted to kind of know a little bit more. And so Julie was awesome. And she, I gotta move these, hold on. She told me some interesting information. So let me take a look here. I think it was a messenger. So I just said, I'd like you to tell me a little bit more about your horse. And this is what she said. Okay. She said, I asked a bunch of questions, so she's answering me here. She said, I got him in the beginning of December as the previous owner gave up on him. He has white sclera, I might say that wrong, and a tiny rim of blue around his eyes. Godi is an Icelandic horse that went through 2 parts of training. He supposedly did really well at his first level, learning to be handled. Then he had a break and came back to the trainer. She didn't like him and eventually decided that he's not prospering enough, and she did not want to work with him anymore. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Okay. Usually that's when the horse gets slaughtered, as it's unlikely to sell a horse deemed as difficult or dangerous. He was scheduled for slaughtering in January. They posted him on Horses for Cheap group as the last chance, being honest that he's a lost cause, and I was the only person interested in him, apparently. I know more or less what has been done with him before, as I got some videos from his previous trainer. He comes from a breeder that breeds for color rather than character, and he was not a planned pregnancy. Okay. When I went to check him out, he did not allow anyone close to him and had to be cornered to put a halter on. Did not like being around humans nor to be touched. Handling him would result in a big stress response. He especially hated men around him. He was constantly in a flight or fight mode. We started from scratch, as I don't agree with methods used on him previously, and I believe it was done too much and too fast without his consent and against his will and comfort. He benefits from a slow tempo with less pressure and a more liberty. Godi with me. I have 2 20-year-old mares, and he got adopted by one of them, Rispa, pretty quickly. Both of them had a big influence on him, giving him lessons on courtesy and also affirming that humans are not that bad. Rispa is a boss mare, and with a big heart, she's been a big comfort to him. He also made friends with horses he shares the paddock with really quickly. He's very playful and not picky when it comes to playmates. He has his favorites, but also gets along nicely with everyone and is submissive. He's liked by other horses, and they give him plenty of attention that he craves. He relaxed around horses, but was very negative towards humans. Our progress. I'd say we started with a -5, him being absolutely closed off as he listened, as listened to before. He was deemed difficult and stupid. He's neither of those things. He's very clever and learns super fast. He has a friendly demeanor and a cute personality. We did a lot of positive reinforcement and reintroduced him to being handled and trained. The first month, we mostly focused on him getting comfortable and building any interest and trust towards me. He's very curious, but very withdrawn. Touch was his biggest nightmare, and he hated being handled. Somewhere in January, we hit a huge breakthrough. He started to speak to me, telling me where he's uncomfortable, giving me permission, and saying no whenever he gets overwhelmed. We have firm boundaries, and it seems to work great for him. He loves being touched and offers himself at any occasion he gets. He chooses me over other horses in the paddock. We've done plenty of body work, releasing tension, working on his chest, ears, shyness, dropping the neck, releasing the tail, gelding scars, so on and so forth, the good stuff. We're working on him being comfortable with his sheath handled. His favorite thing is releasing his hindquarters, and he offers his butt to me regularly, giving me the look that you know what to do. I still think there's more to uncover, but we're nearing the 0 scale on discomfort. He's easily startled by humans, so much with the environment, but he made huge progress from bolting when I slipped on ice to now just being slightly concerned. And getting a bit stiff, but calming himself down very quickly. He's learning to self-regulate, and it's rather easy to get him back in contact. He's becoming an amazing horse and a life companion. I'm lucky to be able to work with him daily. He's working on his chest when it comes to training and shifting his weight, opening his chest. All right, look at that photo now. Isn't that a cute little horse? That is so cute. So, she's like close enough on the pronunciation. Yeah, I'll need help with that for sure. So that's what I was picking up on in that photo. I don't know if any of you guys could see it. It was just kind of like a, oh gosh, what? Yeah, Leanne. Yeah. And I want you guys to believe in yourselves when you see something and you go, what's going on there? Because I think most of you are going to be right in situations. Okay. And Julia mentioned that the trainer, the training went okay, but then the trainer decided that they don't like that horse anymore. And I'm going to be super honest with you. And I'm not putting trainers down. Trainers are awesome. But difficult horses, um, they they kind of make the trainers get paid by getting the horse to improve in a short period of time. Okay. And so when you have difficult horses, they don't improve as quickly as the trainers need them to improve to make the trainer look good. Because you gotta have results if you're a trainer. They gotta look good. Okay. And yeah, a lot of extra time. So horses that need extra time. This horse reminds me of Georgia, to be honest with you. Because when she was speaking, I was like, oh yeah, I couldn't touch Georgia. Oh yeah, Georgia hated any physical touch. She didn't like humans. She's cool with other horses. Very similar. Um, Trainers also don't want a horse like Georgia because it's too much work. It doesn't make you look good. It takes a year to accomplish things that other horses accomplish in 2 months. Okay. So a lot of horses are deemed difficult or dangerous by trainers because the amount of time it's going to take to get them to the place that they'd want them is too much. Okay. So if you run into that and you have a gut feeling about the horse, go with your gut and just know what you're stepping into though also. Okay. And so with Georgia, I knew it was going to be a long haul. I didn't ride her for the first 2 years I had her. Okay. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's not what a trainer's going to do. So it's a different path. If it's not something you're ready for, that's fine. Okay, so that did not surprise me. But thank you, Julia, for letting me share that story. That's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a fun story. That horse is already transformed from what it sounds like. But that was just a fun, interesting story that I experience a lot. So I see things like that a lot with certain horses. Okay, so right on, Julia. Great job. I I want to hear I want to hear more, so keep us updated. We love it. All right. So that was Julia and Gody. The next person, yes, I want photos, of course. Of course I want photos. I like that. The next person I want to talk with is Casey. So Casey, there you are. Yeah, Casey, go ahead and unmute. Casey sent me a message this week, and what I want to do is share it with you. So let me find it and pull it up here. And Casey, you can kind of jump on here also and talk a little bit about give your horse's name and a little bit background on her.
So it's my daughter's horse, Joy. We got her to run barrels. My daughter was, how old were you when we got her? 7?
No,
Eight?
10.
Oh, 10, sorry. Joy was 4.
5.
5, 4 turning 5. And she's the star of our barn. She's the queen. Always does. I mean, my daughter Jocelyn and her have the best, they're just in sync with each other so well. So we went riding on a Monday a couple weeks ago. She did great. Normal was usual. Went again Tuesday, and she started swinging her head around to the left side like she was trying to bite. And my daughter immediately knew something was wrong, and and they pretty much packed up and came home. We ended up going, I did some massage work on her that night. We ended up going riding again. What day was that? Thursday. And she started doing it again. And I think that's when I took the initial videos that I sent you. And so we knew something was wrong. Couldn't
Yeah,
quite
so
pinpoint it.
let's take a look at those videos real quick because I want people to see them because it was, you know, it's always great to get a video because you know, what I picture when you said swinging around is different from what you sent me. So here, let's watch this quick. Okay, so she looks happy there. She looks like a little fighter, huh? Okay, everybody see that? She'll do it again. See that?
Keep going. So we
Keep going.
not dying.
Yes.
I mean, that's a lot. Okay, so that's the first video. Let me show you this one.
Goodness.
Going. Put your through it.
Okay, and then they were smart here, and look what they did here. Took the saddle off. Check this out. Okay, does it without the saddle.
What's going on, Joe?
Yeah. Oh, look at her. She yawned. Okay. So that is a pretty serious, oops, let me mute that. Run. Okay. That's a pretty serious reaction. And the first couple things that I noticed was that it's only to the left side. And it looked like it was happening when they asked her to trot. Okay. So asked her to increase speed. So that was my first idea was, well, does she have a stomach ache? Right? Because nobody wants to jog with a stomach ache. So I gave her the DePaulo Equine Concepts videos to check for stomach issues or ulcers. And that's just like what she did with taking the saddle off. She's checking to see if it's the saddle, right? So let's cross some things off. Check to see if the saddle, that was awesome. It was not the saddle. Okay. And then I sent her the DePaulo Equine Concepts 5 acupuncture points to check. It wasn't that. So she messaged me back, said nothing, no reactions whatsoever. So that was good information. Okay. Okay. So take over, Casey. What next?
We had every spring we take our performance horses to a performance vet that is like 2 hours away from us. We love him. He does a great job. So we knew that appointment was scheduled coming up. All this stuff really couldn't have happened. I mean, I wish it wouldn't happen at all, but it happened at a good time because we were able, before that, we contacted our chiropractor to have her take a look. She noticed, and she was just at our house like a week or two before this had started happening as well. So she had mentioned that her sternum was dropped. She was tight in her shoulders, which she kind of always is, and that's always the go-to point that I start massaging with. Not enough apparently. So she also mentioned something when she walks forward. She said she's walking a little funny on her feet. Has her farrier was just there, just had her feet done. a few days before this appointment. Feet are great. We don't shoe her. She's got wonderful feet. So then we bring her to the vet, and he noticed some lameness in her feet. He mentioned the coffin joint, and then I gave him the background of what I had been talking with you, Erin, about, and what the chiropractor had said, and we kind of started putting the pieces together. He said, well, I think, with her feet being so sore, she's her shoulders are getting tense because she doesn't want to put weight on her front feet. So then we started putting, everything kind of fell together. So we're starting to get answers. And there was also some hock issues that we had to address as well. So I mean, it's interesting how things, start in the feet and then it just kind of blows up all over the body. But so yeah, he encouraged us to continue with chiropractic and keep massaging, keep her comfortable, and get her back to working. So that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, and I found it super interesting that when you had the chiropractor out, they found issues in C5, 6, and 7. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
C5, 6, and 7, guys, where is that at? Right under the shoulder there. Right, yeah. Okay, so C7, you can't really palpate. I mean, that chiropractor might have been able to get in there. Probably not on her though, because she's beefy. But those C5, 6, and 7 are the lower cervical vertebra on the neck, right? And then they go under that scapula and they attach to the thoracic, okay? And then the sternum's right there, right? So the sternum was tilted. And then that dropped the scapula of the left shoulder. And it did seem to be predominantly when the mare was being asked to go a little faster, because it just makes it a little harder on their body. So I found that really interesting, and that's why I think that a combination of modalities is so important, right? Because as a massage therapist, I'm going to look at everything muscles. I don't know. I don't know about the the bones, and I don't know about the vet work. Okay. But so my brain immediately goes to everything muscle wise, which can do a lot of good. But if you have C5, 6, and 7 out, that's chiropractic, that's their territory. Okay. So super cool. A lot of times we don't get answers, do we? We don't get answers with our horses. So it's just nice to actually get some answers that are going to help
Yeah, I've been seeing one
and be able
here.
to learn. So that's cool. And I like sharing these stories because, a lot of people, and Casey's obviously not one of them, but a lot of people would be like, oh, push her through that, or, don't worry about it, she'll get over it. C5, 6, and 7 were out, you guys. Right? We don't need to do that to them. So always look for answers. And then Casey's daughter knew something was up. They knew it because they know their horse, right? And I talk about that. You guys know your horses better than anybody else. So I just think that was a great story. So thank you, Casey, for sharing that with us. I appreciate it. I appreciate the videos also, and I appreciate the update also. Okay. All right. Any questions before we start talking about journey through the horse? Anything on your minds that you need to get off your chest here? No? All right. Carrie, what's up?
Got a question on the workbook versus your website. What's the order of doing things? Do you do the workbook on our own?
Yeah, that's for you. That's just
Okay.
for reference. We're going to talk
Okay.
about that today.
Okay.
Yep.
Erin, I
Okay.
have a quick question.
Yeah.
So with humans, I've been told like if we need chiropractic work, the longer we postpone going to the chiropractor, it kind of equates to how long it's going to take the chiropractor to get us back into shape, So moral of the story, the sooner that you get in, the chiropractor is going to, probably adjust you and get you, feeling good. So my
Yeah.
thought or like with the horses, I think that horses are gonna carry their tension in certain areas just like we do. But like I'm thinking like for Flash with the tension, I know it's been ongoing for a while. And it's maybe like muscle memory now of different muscles that have been tweaked. If you could just kind of address that a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I get asked this a lot. I'll make a couple points and I will just preface this by saying this is just my opinion. Okay. So this is my opinion. Other people can disagree and that's all right. One statement I'll make is always massage before chiropractic. And the reason that is because if you do chiropractic on muscles that are like, and then you do chiropractic and it adjusts them back again, but these muscles have not been addressed, it just goes right back out. Not always, but it can. Okay. My other opinion that people can argue with is that you should not need chiropractic on a regular basis. Okay, especially if you're doing regular massage work. Unless your horse has some skeletal issue that is permanent, okay? I don't think you should need monthly chiropractic. Chiropractors will disagree with me on that. But I think massage is going to be, once you get them, their bones want to be lined up, okay? Their bones are set to be lined up. So as long as you don't have muscles saying, here, here, take that, the bones should stay where they belong. Massage, on the other hand, can be done. I mean, I was doing some hunter jumpers weekly when they were jumping. Okay, weekly. Reiners weekly. I had a couple dressage people that wanted it done weekly. Upper level, hard workers, right? Okay. But every case is going to be a little bit different. Stephanie, what you were talking about specifically is, yeah, the longer the body's been messed up, the longer it takes to get it back, but not always. Sometimes some horses just want their body back where it goes. And once you set them back, they're off and running again. Okay. But in general, if the body's been in a state that's not ideal for long periods of time, there's going to be, it's going to take a little longer to get back. That's why this is a great program, this journey through the horse, because you got all the time in the world. Take your time. We're not in a rush. When I come in, I try to get as much done as possible, but you guys don't have to do that. You can take your time. Okay. So yeah, chiropractic. I love chiropractic. And I'll be super honest with you. I'll just compare it to myself. I need a chiropractor like once a year. But when I need them, there's no substitution. I don't go, well, maybe I can try some anti-inflammatories. Maybe I can go get a massage. When I need a chiropractor, I don't want anyone else. I go right for the chiropractor. Okay. And I walk in and I walk out and I'm better. That's how important it is, to try to get it. The horses can't talk, unfortunately, so you don't always know it's a chiropractic issue. But when I need one and I know it, I go right in and I get fixed and I come out and I'm good to go and I don't deal with anything else. But massage and chiropractic are a great combo. Massage first though, if you want to save yourself some money with the chiro. Okay. Good question though. I do get that fairly often. All right. Any other questions?
I just have a quick comment.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with horses or anything by that, but I have two nieces that are chiropractors. And so for Christmas, if we're close, they always bring their table and everybody gets adjusted at Christmas.
I want one. I want one.
So
Sounds good.
kind of nice to have a couple in the family.
Well, I got addicted to those YouTube things where, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of chiropractors out there and you get to hear the cracking and they do some amazing work, especially on people that have been really jammed up for a long time. So I got addicted to that, of course. I'm like, I got to see another one. This is amazing. Now I want to be adjusted. Okay. All right, let's talk about Journey Through the Horse. So first thing, if you have not got your clinic yet, no problem. I will put the link for the clinic in the chat. Let me get it here. Hold on. I think most of you have your clinic already. Come on. Now it's not bringing you guys back up. There you are. Okay, here's the clinic if you need it. Okay. Let's go to the clinic real quick and take a look at it. So if you haven't tooled around in there yet, I'll show you what it looks like. Here it is. Okay, so here's the clinic. Okay, this is what yours should look like also. If you have multiple either videos or whatever, you can go up into your courses here. Okay. And you're going to have whatever you've gotten. So some of you have gotten my ebooks, some of you have gotten my videos, some of you have done some of the other programs. So those are all going to be in your courses, and that should be updated. This is the new system. Definitely still working out some kinks. Found I was giving away the wrong product when you guys were buying your clinics, so I had to fix that this week. Okay, but here's the clinic. What I want you to do is go ahead and go into the beginning part. Okay. So we're going to look at, the first thing we're going to look at tonight is under the welcome. We're going to look at the signs of relaxation, enjoyment, and concern. Okay. And just so all of you know, at the bottom of this lesson is the workbook. So the workbook's right here. Okay. This workbook is about 42 pages, I believe, something like that. It's pretty long. So you're going to have stuff that you can document on there. You're going to have outlines of horses. You're going to have you're going to have all this information. Okay. All the write-ups. And then you're going to have stuff that you can laminate and take out into the barn if you want to. Okay. So, one thing we're going to do a little bit different is, I'm going to give you the homework and we're going to talk about that today. And then you can submit videos onto the private Facebook page, which most of you are already on. Once you get a clinic or have been to an in-person clinic, you get on there. So if you're not on there, message me and I'll get you on there. Now, what I like about the private clinic is that no eyeballs from the World Wide Web are going to be on there. That's just for us. So we don't need to hear anybody's opinion about whatever. Okay. It's just going to be our group. I don't have to talk about being polite to everybody because everybody's always polite on this group. So I haven't ever had to handle anyone that was rude or anything like that. And I don't foresee having to do that. And we're all horse people. We're all aware that some horses are like older and some horses, everybody lives in different situations. So, whatever, mud happens, right? Mud happens. We all live, in different situations. Some horses are bordered, some horses are turned out. So we don't need to make comments about anything like that. If you have any concerns, you can for sure message me and I'll take a look at it. But especially older horses, right? We want to give them a lot of grace and we just love them and we're glad they're around. So we don't want to make comments about older horses. All right. So, so that's one thing. You're going to be on to the private Facebook page, and that's where you're going to submit your videos. One thing that's going to be a little bit different this time, when you guys go out to do your homework, I want you to videotape it if you want to. If you want feedback, definitely videotape all your sessions. A lot of you have multiple horses. Okay, so tape your sessions, but per week, I only want one video. Okay, so if you have 4 horses and we're doing the ears, just pick one of the videos on the ears. So watch them yourself and kind of go like, oh, I'd like some feedback on this one, or oh, I'd like some feedback on this particular horse, but just one horse so I can get through them all. And that if we're doing like 2 affections, then you can submit 2 videos, and it can be the same horse or a different horse. Okay. So we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on. But yeah, I'll be able to get through them a little bit easier. Okay, so let's first talk about signs of relaxation, enjoyment, and concern. We're going to talk about this one, and then I'm going to assign you the homework later. This will be part of your homework. Look it over as you feel free to. Okay, so signs of relaxation. I want you to know the difference between relaxation, enjoyment, concern, and release. Okay, so sign of relaxation. What is relaxation? Well, it's when it feels good. Okay, so they're relaxed. It's putting them into a slower state where they get to be calm. Their breathing is gonna slow. They're gonna just be in a nice Zen state. Okay, so signs of relaxation are gonna be closing their eyes. Okay, licking the lips is a little bit of a sign of relaxation. That's also a sign of release. Bobbing the head. You guys ever seen that? Little micro bobs? Okay, like they're falling asleep. Yawning is actually a sign of release, so that's wrong. I'll have to fix that. Cocking the leg. You guys all know cocking the leg is relaxation. You see horses doing that out in the paddock. Deep breathing. So horses actually do not breathe that that much. And they breathe pretty slow and pretty deep, okay? And you also want the breathing to be even. Okay? So pretty normal signs of relaxation. Signs of enjoyment. Now, signs of enjoyment just tell you that the horse really likes it. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's tension there. So that's the difference I want you to know about. Just because they like it doesn't mean it's tension. Okay? So the muscle quivering, right? We've seen that. Mutual grooming. And I'm going to talk about mutual grooming. Those of you who've been with me already know. Mutual grooming, so cute until you get bit. So cute till you get bit. So do not allow mutual grooming to go on for long periods of time, because when you watch 2 horses mutually groom, one gets bit and walks off mad. Okay, I promise you that one is going to be you. So do not allow mutual grooming to go on for too long. It's cute in the beginning and then shut it down. Okay, rocking back and forth, that's enjoyment. Okay, they always remind me of the Muppets when they're doing that, when the Muppets sing to songs, because their hair kind of goes with it. All right, so that's enjoyment. Shifting their weight into you or putting you into a position, that's enjoyment. They're telling you, I want it here, I want it here, I like it here, do it this way. Okay, weaving their head back and forth, they enjoy that. And then melting, kind of a melting action. So they just kind of, oh. Okay. So enjoyment does not necessarily mean tension, and it doesn't necessarily mean release, but we like to know areas of enjoyment. Can someone tell me why? Go ahead and unmute. Hit it, Wanda.
It's just gonna say, so you can go back to it,
Yeah.
right? If you have to work on an area that's not so enjoyable, but you need to release the tension, then you go back to that place they were enjoying it and you can finish on that.
That's right. You're going to use it to your advantage. Okay. You're going to use that place of enjoyment to your advantage. When the horse is uncomfortable in a different area, okay, when they're worried about a different area, you're going to go from that area of them being worried, and then you go back to saying, see, that was all good, wasn't it? You know, Wanda and her husband use that in their farrier work all the time, because the horses get worried about their feet getting done. Okay, so find a spot they like. We're gonna incorporate that and make them enjoy it. I mean, I took a horse that was frightened of had a bad accident in a wash rack, and the person said to me, we had a bad incident in a wash rack. Now that horse is scared to death of the wash rack. And I said, okay, cool. Guess where we're doing the massage today? straight in the wash rack. All right. Because I'm gonna take that negative that happened. They slipped and cracked their head on something. And I'm gonna go, now we're gonna get a massage in the wash rack. We're just gonna replace that. We're gonna replace that memory. Okay. It worked like a charm. So same idea. Okay. So use areas that they enjoy to your advantage. You can use that when you're out and about. When you're in a situation where they're starting to get scared, all of a sudden, oh, hold on, let me find your favorite spot for you. Okay. Signs of concern. Wide eye. I mean, we know these, right? We've been around horses enough to know these, but wide eyes, head goes up suddenly, tensing muscles, rapid breathing. I want you to pay a lot of attention to breathing, guys. Rapid breathing, holding their breath. Okay. If you have a stoic horse, okay, it's going to be these little tiny signs, holding their breath, swishing their tail, and then moving away. Moving away, and I mean, I call it has left the building. They didn't just move away to put you on a different spot. They've left the building. Like, I'm out of here. Okay. So signs of tension. Every horse is going to have some different ones also. So feel free to know your own horse, as most of you already do. Okay, signs of release. And this is not an exhaustive list. Okay, but big blowouts are super fun. I love it when a horse blows out, man, especially those stoic red mares. Okay, they blow out, love it. Okay, deep breaths where they're almost like they're going through something. Okay. Signs of release is scratching on a spot on their own body. So this could mean this is a bunch of different ways. So chewing on their own rib cage is one. Chewing on their own leg. Chewing on their butt, as every Arabian can do for some reason. I got a great photo of Chester doing that the other day. Okay. Yawning. We all know about the yawning one. Licking and chewing. We've all heard of that one. But shaking the head too. Now, normally it's just the head. When you get a full body shake, you've won for the day and you get to go home. Okay. It's normally just the head, but if you get a full body shake, you're good to go. Okay. So those are some signs of release. Also, sometimes I call it a lazy release, is they will they'll rub their face on, instead of rubbing it on their own body, they rub it on the wall or something else, right? Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about giving your horse some space, because those stoic horses, they don't want to release while you're in their space. Okay. Extroverted ones will yawn directly into your face. Those stoic horses, though, they're going to keep it in. So you need to stop occasionally and get out of their space. And I mean like 4, 5, 6 feet out of their space. Turn your back. Don't look at them. Think of something else. You know, use a mirror to stare at them, or I use my camera. You know, don't make eye contact. Don't say their name or anything like that. Just give them a moment. Okay? Give them a moment. That's real important. It's real important for some horses. And you'll see it in a lot of these videos that I'll do some work on Georgia, and then I go to walk away and talk to the camera, and Georgia releases behind me. Okay? So you'll see that. It's quite funny. And that's why it's fun to videotape, another reason. Okay? All right. Any questions on that part? You guys can always raise your hand in the field too. I think that pops you up. Okay. So that's going to be one of your homework there, is check out those signs of relaxation, enjoyment, concern. I need to change that one. Yawning is not a sign of, I mean, it's kind of relaxation, but that's a release. And when you see a yawn, I want you to think release. Okay. Safety tips and tricks. That's part 2 here. Okay, and this is just a document, it's not a video, so I just want you to, I give safety tips and tricks as I go along. But one thing I want you to do is read this. I'll talk a little bit about what I prefer. Where you, oh, Julius says mine also rolls for release. That's no joke. I had a clinic. I did a 2-day clinic, and I had 3 horses lay down and take a nap during the clinic, and I have never had that happen before. And it was the same clinic. It was so funny. And one of the horses in every clinic I do, there's always like 2 horses that I rate in the beginning. I go, that horse is going to be transformed, and that horse is going to be transformed. And it's really interesting to, because they just kind of walk in like, yeah, let's do this. This sounds great. And they're really nervous. And then one of the horses that laid down and took a nap was one of those that I was like, this horse is going to be transformed. So that was really exciting. Yeah, but three took a nap. Oh yeah, and then Melinda's old horse Bodie, he like sat down. It was so odd, like a dog. He sat down on his butt, and I was just like, nah, that's totally normal. I don't know. He got back up. He was fine. Yeah, they just do funny stuff sometimes. Downward dog. If any of you guys have ever seen a horse do that, that one's fun. Yeah, breathing exercises. I did that in my advanced course. That was fascinating. So I might start incorporating that into my courses. But yeah, take some time. Always give your horse time if they need it. That's really interesting. Okay. So that is the first section. And then, you know, paddock stuff, I prefer in an ideal world. You know, in an ideal world, you're going to be doing this at liberty in a 50-acre pasture. The sun's going to be shining and it's going to be the perfect weather. Okay. That's not normally how it works. So what I prefer is a paddock with a halter flipped over them somehow, but not holding on to them if you can. I like them to be able to speak. I like them to be able to walk away if they want to, because that tells you a lot. Do they walk away and come back after they've released? Do they need a break? Are they just moving? You know, a lot of different things. So I want you to be very open to allow them to move. Okay. My least favorite is cross ties. You're pretty much saying don't speak if you put them in cross ties. And I do it. I do it if I need them to stand still and be quiet and let me do some work that maybe they don't want me to work, I'll do it. But it's not ideal for building a communication between you and your horse. Okay. So, but listen, if you got to do it, you got to do it. If you do what you need to do, if your horse is, you know, doofing around with too much stuff and you need to tie them or whatever, fine. If they come around to bite at you and you're not comfortable, tie them. I'm not going to be like, what are you doing? I said at liberty in a 50-acre pasture. Okay. Do what works for you and your family. And then the other thing I want to talk about is, if your horse doesn't like something right off the bat, I want you to change your stroke immediately. And it's hard. It takes a little bit of practice. I'll probably catch some of that on some of the videos that are given, but specifically around, let's say, the pectorals. Okay. If your horse does not like their pectorals or their chest rubbed, immediately go to slapping. It'll keep you from getting bit. Okay. If they do not like slapping, immediately go to direct pressure or effleurage, like quiet and slow. If they don't like fast friction, do the opposite. So do slow and light work. Okay. Does that make sense? So do whatever is the opposite of what you're currently doing. That's going to do 2 things. One, sometimes it confuses them, which is fine, but it shows them that you're paying attention and that you're listening to them. Okay. Stopping isn't what you want to do because we need to get the work done, right? We do need to do the work, but changing what you're doing shows them that based off what they just said to you, which was, you keep doing that, you're going to die. You stop doing that and you do something else and they go, oh, okay. All right. I'm cool with that. Okay. So immediately change. And listen, it takes practice. So I'm not going to come down hard on anyone, but that's really important when you're doing body work, especially on horses that are really sore. Okay. Kristen, you got a question. What is it? You can unmute.
Hi, yes. So I have 3 barrel horses, and 2 of my barrel horses are mares, and they are very just not nice, which I know is kind of why I'm taking this course, because I'm sure it's because their body sore, they see a chiropractor every 2 weeks. I've had massage therapists out, blah blah blah, all the things, vet checked, all that stuff. Anyways, do you have any sort of recommendation when approaching them, because they're already going to be in the defensive mode? I mean, I can ride them, they're fine, all that. They don't want to like to be touched, and they really don't like to be saddled. So I know, and I'm diving into why that is. Like I said, vet checked fine, multiple vets, performance vets. All the vets say it's just a mare thing. I don't believe in that. So, just do you have any better, kind of approach that I can go to make them not so defensive until I can really work on them and get them to let their guard down?
Absolutely. And that's a fantastic question. Thank you for asking that. So every time I approach a horse, whether it is one that is very familiar with me or has never met me before at all, I always walk up like this. And I gauge right off the bat whether they want me coming into their circle or not. And if they don't, I stop in my tracks. And that's the same thing that I was just talking about, where you change your stroke. Okay. If they say they don't like something, change it. Okay. So first thing I do, I walked up to this new client. It was an Andalusian gelding. He came from Spain. They train them Andalusians a little bit different over there. And a lot of them come with kind of like, oh, I don't like people. This is going to be harsh. Okay. And I walked up to his stall and I was like, hey, buddy. And I immediately saw his eyes go. He's actually in the clinic. He is the little Palomino Andalusian that I do the legwork on. He's super cute. But he did not want me in his stall, and he was scared. He wasn't angry or anything like that, but it's the same thing. And I go, oh, okay. And the owner was about to go in and put the halter on him. I go, oh, hold on. And I just said, let's give him a moment. Because he was in the back of the stall and he was like looking away. I go, let's just give him a moment. Okay. And so I just talked to him quietly and I held my hands out. I'll tell you what, about 30 seconds later, he put his head down, he looked over at me and I go, oh, there you are, buddy. There you are. Okay. 30 seconds after that, he walked up to me. So that's how I'm going to start my sessions. I'm not going to go, hey, I'm going to do a session. I'm going to walk up, put your halter on you. You're going to stand here and you're going to love every second of this. Okay. He didn't even want me. He didn't know me. He didn't want me around. He didn't want me touching him. So with your horses, they do know you. But what I want you to do is I want you to approach them in a way that's more like, hey, let's have a nice session here. So maybe don't approach them straight on, which sounds, elementary, as where, you've had these horses for a long time, but approach them with the side, hold your hand out, bring them a treat, wait for them to come over. With my particular mare, I had to hold the halter out for her and wait till she put her head in it. I mean, it's just little tiny stuff like that that's going to make a really big difference. And if they're, if they're getting angry or putting their ears back at you, just go, oh, I understand. I totally get it. Let's get some of that tension out of your body and just talk to them a little bit like that. You'd be surprised how quickly they know your intentions. Horses are masters of intention. Okay. So they're going to figure it out and they're going to respond when you take the time to go, I get you. I got you. I heard you loud and clear. Okay. So try that, see how it goes. If you shoot me some videos, I'd like to take a look at them and I can give you some cues. I can pick up on some cues maybe and give you some ideas that way. Okay. That's a great question though. And I'd like everybody to think about that when they're working with their horses. Sometimes they're just having a bad day, man. I walk out to Georgia and sometimes it's like, geez Louise, what happened to you last night? Okay. Claire, what you got?
So kind of on the same line. If you have a horse, like the mean mare that I have, if you come, at her or like go into the pasture, she'll pin her ears and like be ready to kick you kind of thing. Is this something where I start working with the other horses and pulling them to do, or, do this work? Oh, also 2 questions. Do I need to be alone in the pasture to do this work? Because the other horses want to get in on it.
Nah.
Do you have to
Not
do it?
necessarily.
Okay.
It's going to depend on the situation. So if it makes the horse that you're currently working on more comfortable to have horses in the pasture, cool. If the
Okay.
other horses are annoying the horse that you're working on, you're going to get out and you're going to do it without them.
Okay, perfect. And so with the horse that is very much like, no, she always has to make the decision to come up to you. Do I just go
Yep.
ahead and wait and turn my back
Yep.
to her? Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I will also draw them in by backing up. So I'll
Okay.
catch them, right? It's called a whole bunch of different things in training. There's always like a different word for it, but I catch their attention and then I draw them toward me, and I'll even go like this, and then they'll actually come toward me, and then I go, oh, okay, are you ready? Like, verbalize your question. Are you ready to, do you need to, how are you doing today? You'd be surprised at just whatever tone you have. They're going to respond to that. And then also, that's a sensitive mare there. Okay. So, you have to be extra with them. You got to be really like, okay, yeah, I got you, babes. Okay. Maybe you haven't told her she's beautiful enough. I mean, it happens. It happens.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Stephanie, what you got?
Okay, sorry, where is that hand raising? I can't find it on my.
I think it's down here under
control.
reactions. Yeah, there it is. So if you go to the little heart that has the reaction, you can raise your hand.
Oh, under there. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so my reining horse, he's very mouthy and not like, it's not that he wants to bite you, but he needs a fidget toy at all times. And so like when I'm working with him, I have a hand to protect myself, but I don't want to like hit him in the face and create a different problem. What I've tried is to kind of like, don't run into my finger, kind of make
Yeah,
it his
exactly.
fault. But I don't have enough. I mean, he's just very mouthy. Like
Yeah.
he's the horse that if he's sitting next to you, he wants to grab a hold of your coat and just, I'm with you.
Yep. So with them, I give them a pacifier. Okay. You're going to go take that $9.99 halter and lead rope that you have out in the barn that nobody uses because it's a piece of garbage. You're going to put that on them, and you're going to let them chew on that lead rope, not on the $60 lead rope, on the $9.99 lead rope. You're going to let them chew on that, or you're going to kind of give them something. But I do not let horses bite on me or chew
No.
on me or whatever. So
I
if
tried the lead rope thing though. He doesn't want to do that even.
okay,
Any
find
other?
something like, with like babies, you give them something random like keys or something, they'll play with that. I one time had to hold my clipboard like this and let some horse screw around my clipboard. It's the most interesting clipboard in the world. Okay, so find something, and if you need to, you can tie him. You can tie him. And then he can play with whatever's in front of his face. If you're in front of his face, he's gonna play with you.
Yes.
Yeah, so just figure out something that's gonna make him leave you alone for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That they can, but I also horses run into my hands sometimes too, and whoops, sorry, you'll learn that lesson. Like I just tell them, I'll karate chop your face, dude, if you come around on me like that again. I'm not playing. And they'll learn real quick not to do that. But generally, if it sounds like yours is more mouthy, so give them something to be mouthy on that's not your body.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, see how it goes. All right, Jennifer, what you got?
Yeah, I was just wondering, how do you define release?
Yeah, so release is a physiological reaction to the body letting go of tension. Now, I've had really smart people try to explain it by saying, well, it's a release of norepinephrine and dopamine, it's da 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 da, but it's a physiological reaction to work that you've done that puts the body back in the way that it's supposed to be. So it can be an emotional release, which is awesome, and it can be a physical release. Okay, so a physical release, sometimes you get the pleasure of feeling those also, where you know the muscle is stuck here, and then you press on it or you do whatever work, and then it gets its freedom back, so you can actually feel that knot go away, and then the horse has the physiological reaction to that physical release. But sometimes it's an emotional or mental release, and those are a little bit different because you don't get to feel them, but they can't not do it. Okay, so even your really stoic ones, they end up releasing at some point in time. Okay, so that's a great question. There's really smart people out there that like to like define the actual chemical release in the body. That's not me, but it is a physiological release of either emotional or physical tension.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Carrie, what you got?
My old mare that I had done my first video on, I still notice, I haven't really worked on her too much, but she has that bulge by her scapula on both sides, and some days it's worse than others. If we're not on that particular spot on our training, can I send videos and try to get some help with that specifically? I don't want to
Totally.
make her wait. She's
Yeah,
got an
no
issue.
problem. And that's just kind of how we're gonna roll too, you know. Definitely. We're here to help the horses. We don't need to be sticklers about everything. Okay. All right, let me get back to the homework here. Here we go. Okay, so you're gonna do the safety tips and tricks. You know, read through that. Spotlight. Okay, we're gonna go into spotlight, face and head. Your homework is going to be intro and safety. Okay, intro and safety. And this is a 6-minute video. I kind of talk about keeping your hand on the halter. I talk about keeping your face out of the line of fire. Okay. I talk about pressure, changing the speed, changing the stroke. Okay. So that's just some of the safety stuff. Your next homework is going to be the pull and ears. Pull and ears. Okay. So remember that underneath all these videos, you have stuff to read too. Okay. So kind of talks a little bit about fun facts, if I have fun facts for that. Things that it might affect. So, you know, head shy stuff always, right? Success tips on some of them. And then it gives you a description of both actions. Okay, so we're just going to do the pull and ears this week. And then I want you to read the welcome and look over that, the signs of relaxation and release, and then the intro and safety. Okay. And then, you know, watch your videos, download your booklet, submit some videos. So one per affection. So you can submit 2 videos this week, one on the ears and one on the pole. It doesn't matter what horse. So if you want to use the same horse, you can. If you have multiple horses, I'd recommend videotaping them all. And then finding the one you want some feedback on. Okay. So that's going to be the homework for this week. I'm going to do Mr. Chesterman. So no more Georgia. I was going to show you how fat Georgia was in that video, that first video. I was like, oh, look at her porky girl. She must have been in the summer. But yeah, so I'm going to do all Chester so you guys can see my work on Chester that I'll post for you also. Feel free to message. Hold on one second. I know you addressed it. Sorry, I have steroid brain. Should those of us who took the course in person have a login account as well? You don't get a login account, but you have your packet from the clinic. And if you don't have it, I can send it to you again. But you do get onto the coaching community, which I think you're already on, Shaughnessy. So you should be good. If you want the clinic, I would grab it. It's a lifetime membership, so you can have it. Yeah, feel free to invite people also. You know, just because you missed the first 3 weeks, it doesn't mean this isn't an awesome, it goes on for quite a while. So, you know, and you can always go back and watch your videos and then look at the posts from the Facebook. Okay. So throw those posts up on the Facebook coaching page for the videos. Please put them up on there, because if I get them in like emails or in the messenger, then I lose them, and that's how that works. It will say that you need to have them approved, but what I do instead of doing that is I'll do a voiceover on the video instead of approving it, and then I put the video up that I did the voiceover on, and then I decline your video. Just so you know, when your video comes back, I decline it because I already did a voiceover and I'm going to put my video up, and I don't want to have two of the same videos floating around because that'll be confusing. Okay. So you have your homework. I will also put up the homework on the coaching group. So you'll see that. Do you have clinics in Southern California? Debbie, let's set something up. Let's do it. I like it when it's warm out, sunny. Absolutely. Let's do it. Hawaii. I'm still looking for Hawaii. Where are you at? Okay. Any questions you
live
have,
clinic
you can.
awesome. I just thought I would tell you. Live clinic. Awesome.
Good. Yeah, do a live clinic. Yeah, I'm doing quite a few. I put those up on the Facebook, you guys see. But feel free to message me if you're having any problems or issues. I'm here for you. Put your videos up this week. I'll do voiceovers. Keep an eye out. Yep. Any questions?
Just thank
Rita?
you. Thank you, Erin. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Erin.
You're welcome. That's all I have for you. Party on.
Have a
Glad you
great
guys
week.
are here. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks, Julia. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.